This is the classic game of trademark chicken. I'm Andrei Minkov, the founder of Trademark Factory, and in this video I'm going to share my thoughts about yet another trademarking screw-up. This time around, it's Prime Inc. going after Amazon for using the word Prime. All right, let me start by reading from the article, and you can always find the link in the description below. All right, Prime Inc. goes after Amazon's profits for trademark infringement. Amazon's use of the word Prime on trailers, moving packages to retail and online customers, is causing Prime Inc. to lose money and Amazon to profit at Prime's expense, the Springfield, Missouri-based trucking company has alleged. In a lawsuit filed on July 2nd in federal court of the Western District of Missouri, Prime Inc. contends it is entitled to the greater of 3 times Amazon's profits or 3 times any damages it has sustained as a result of Amazon's past and current trademark infringement and related unfair competition. According to its lawsuit, Prime Inc. claims it notified Amazon of the alleged trademark infringement more than 2 years ago through written correspondence from Prime Inc. and then through proceedings Prime initiated at the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board. Nevertheless, Amazon has persisted in displaying one or more of the accused marks on trailer trucks and other shipping and transportation vehicles in commerce, and thereby has continued to infringe Prime Inc.'s exclusive rights, and has continued to engage in unfair competition in violation of the Lanham Act. The lawsuit states, Amazon's infringement and unfair competition are therefore intentional, willful, and malicious. Attorneys for Prime Inc. and Amazon were unavailable to comment. The lawsuit asserts that in 2015, Amazon began moving goods to Amazon Prime loyalty program members and retail customers in its own trucks. Then in 2016 and 17, nearly 40 years after Prime first used Prime Inc. on its trucks, Amazon began displaying its Prime logo on its own trucks. While some might argue that the two Prime markings do not look similar, Prime Inc. uses all uppercase letters, Amazon uses small case and in different font, Prime Inc. nonetheless contends that Amazon's marking is identical in appearance, sound, meaning, and commercial impression when compared to Prime Inc.'s marking. The dominant component of each of these marks, the word Prime, is the same, according to Prime Inc., and they're right? When there's a word mark and an image, or maybe there's some added words that are common, like ink, then the real comparison, the real discussion focuses around what's called the dominant parts of the brand, and in this case, it's obviously Prime, right? That's what makes the brand stand out. That's what makes the brand unique. That's what makes the brand remembered. So the Prime Inc.'s lawyers say, yep, of course, in Prime Inc., Prime is the dominant part. In what Amazon is doing, the word mark, the word element, Prime is the dominant element. Makes perfect sense. So let's keep going. All right, so an attorney for the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office found that because of the same dominant component in the markings, it has given greater weight than any minor stylistic differences between the marks, according to the lawsuit. Well, yeah, of course. And because Prime Inc. and Amazon operate in the same transportation channels, Prime Inc. claims that consumers have associated and are likely to continue to associate with Prime Inc. any defect, objection, or fault found with Amazon services both at and after the point of sale. At the same time, Prime Inc. contends consumers familiar with Prime Inc. and its transportation, trucking, and shipping services sold and marketed under its Prime Inc. logo are likely to purchase and or associate goodwill to Amazon based on the erroneous assumption that Amazon's services are provided, authorized, sponsored, or endorsed by, or in some manner associated with Prime Inc., both at and after the point of sale. What they're basically saying is there is some confusion being created. So people who think they're getting stuff from Amazon may be thinking they're getting it from us. I know it's kind of far-fetched given the prominence of Amazon today, but if you think about it, the trucking company was started many, many years ago, right? They have built their goodwill long before Amazon even existed, right? So they're saying, well, there's got to be somebody who would still remember of us and think of us when they're getting stuff from Amazon, and they might be confused. And they're also saying that because of that, all those people who had come to know us, they may be giving more deference to Amazon because they know the name. Again, this argument may be a little bit far-fetched, but they have to make those arguments. And really, this is not about the size of the defendant. Of course, it's going to be a factor, but it's also about the manner in which the original brand had been known, and that's what really trademark registration is all about, right? They got their trademark registered, now they got presumption of ownership and validity of their brand, and what they're saying is this allows us to go after Amazon, right? Even if nobody truly believes that people are going to buy anything from Amazon because they like the services of Prime Inc.'s trucks and transportation. Maybe that's far-fetched, but what isn't is the ownership of the brand. But let me finish this. So the lawsuit also alleges that Amazon misrepresented to the Trademark Office how it planned to use its Prime marking on trailers in connection with an expedited shipping service available to the public at large versus shipping its own goods to its retail customers and Amazon Prime loyalty program members, right? So they asked for a jury trial on its 4-count lawsuit. So this is interesting because the way this whole thing started is, so Amazon came up with Prime, of course, and I'm still pissed at them because as somebody, so I'm in Canada, but I also have a US address, and I have to pay for Prime membership twice, right? I have to pay for Canadian Prime membership and I have to pay for US Prime membership. Not that it's a lot of money, but still it's pretty annoying that they would make you pay twice for pretty much the same thing. But anyway, putting that aside, so they came up with Prime, and now a huge number of households in North America are Prime members because it's so convenient, it's so prevalent. And at some point, they realized they needed a better transportation system around it, and they started their own trucks. So what started originally was they would say, it's just a membership. It's just a way for people to order stuff online. And then they started marketing their own trucks with Prime. That's really the concern of Prime Inc. And there's a few things here we know for sure. Amazon is not going away anytime soon. We also know they're not shutting down their Prime service anytime soon either. And really that boils down to what's going to happen now, because it does look like this trademark game of chicken, or game of trademark chicken, whichever way you prefer. Because we got one massive company and we also got company that's been in business for decades under a brand, and now they think, gotcha. That's what they're thinking, right? Even if they're right, regardless of whether Prime Inc. is really losing money because of Amazon. In fact, they may be getting more customers now because of Amazon. That doesn't matter, right? Doesn't really matter if they're gaining or losing in terms of customers. What matters is that they are losing control over the brand. They are losing control over their valuable asset. And that part doesn't depend on whether Prime Inc., the truck company, is getting more customers or less customers because of Amazon. What happens is that the value of their brand goes down, because most people now associate the word Prime with Amazon and not with the company that had been using the name for all these years. So that's the one thing, right? They're gonna come to a significant dispute around this because, like I said, Amazon is not going anywhere. And the question here is, can Amazon offer a number to Prime Inc. for Prime Inc. to say, you know what, we'll take the money and rebrand, because it's just trucks in the end of the day. Or whether Prime Inc. is going to stand strong and not accept any number, regardless of what the number is. And that would be an interesting thing to follow, because really, I don't know if there's a right answer. On the one hand, you've been running a business for a certain number of years, you got known under that brand, and then somebody else comes in and says, well, go and rebrand, right? On the one hand, you got the legacy that you've been building, you're doing all of those things. But on the other hand, a business is a business, and you, as the business owner, you have to make business decisions. And sometimes those are difficult business decisions. And really here, the question is, what's best for the company? What's best for the trucking company? To take a huge chunk of money and change the name and start the name from scratch, start building a new legacy around that. But on the other hand, you got this monetized. Or do you not take the money? Do you keep fighting a $1 trillion company? Do you keep saying that, no, we were there first, and maybe you win? Let's say you do win. Then what? Would the value of that victory be more than the money that you will refuse to take? I don't know. Again, I'm just speculating here, but this is what this dispute is going to be all about, right? Amazon needs to deal with this decades-long registration. They don't really know how to, and of course they will, have arguments to the effect that they're only transporting for themselves, only to service their own platform. But the other argument would be, well, yeah, but they still have their trucks on the road, right? So this is going to be very, very interesting. And what's probably going to happen is that a Prime Inc. is going to keep pushing until they put Amazon in a corner where Amazon gives them such a number that they will not be able to refuse, being in their right mind. This is my prediction, but we'll see how this is going to go. I hope you found this useful and interesting, and I hope that while I was sharing this with you, you've clicked that subscribe button and also the notification bell, because this is just one of many videos that I put out every day. And there's going to be a lot more about brands. There's going to be a lot more about trademarks. So if that thing interests you, make sure you subscribe. Now, if you got a brand that you want to protect, whichever way, whether it's about owning the brand and going to fight everyone, or owning it and monetizing it in the future, these are all legitimate options. But before you have any of these options, you have to own your brand. And the only way to do it is to trademark it. So if you have interest in that, go to trademarkfactory.com and book a call with one of our strategy advisors, and they'll be able to help you get started. And until then, I will see you in the next video.